that's it. We're cloaked. Trust me, no one can see us. This ship might as well not exist. Yes, I'm sure this time it's working perfectly. Right now, we leave not the slightest ripple in the fabric of space as we pass through it. Anyway, here we are. This is my room, the captain's cabin. Please come in. What? What's that weird look on your face? It looks like you're trying not to laugh. Yes, my room is full of pillows and blankets and plushies, and almost everything is fluffy. That's how I like it, okay? I need my private quarters to be a place where I can unyoke myself of the role of captain and pilot and being all professional all day long. When I return to my own quarters after a long day, I want to be able to just wedge out like an amoeba, or whatever amoebas do. That's why everything in here is soft, so I can just flop around in my jammies and be super comfortable. No, I'm not a work hard, play hard kind of girl. Not at all. More like work hard and then take a long nap. Napping is literally my hobby. That and board games. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you rolling around on my bed? Your bed is over there. Yes, the narrow little couch in the corner, so don't get any ideas. And now you're rolling around on the floor. You wanted to check if my room was actually flop-worthy. And what's the conclusion? Well, I'm glad you approve. Let me tell you a secret. Sometimes, when I'm in dock, I take the ship out just to use the cloak. Officially, it's to run systems checks, see that everything works by actually flying the ship around, you know. And I do that. But afterwards, I stay out there, find a nice secluded spot, turn the cloak on, and just play games, read, and sleep for like 15 hours. Like a timeout from society. Well, yes. Technically, I can do that on the space station. Just lock my door if I want to be alone. But this feels different. I'm completely cut off. No one can see me. No one can contact me. I'm off-grid, kind of. It certainly makes it easier to relax, at least for me. And the cloak needs to be tested regularly too, so I don't feel too bad about it. Besides, it's my ship. I suppose you don't really relate? Well, because you're military, our lives must be very different. You're probably used to sleeping on a bunk in a room with like 50 other people. Although you do seem to appreciate plushies and fluffy pillows, which is nice to see. Do you miss having more privacy? Or are you so used to it that you don't mind? You're not a soldier? Right, your intelligence. They did tell me that. I know what it means. It means you get your own room. No, I suppose it means you're sort of a spy. Are you not allowed to tell me? The only thing I was told was that my ship was needed to retrieve a person from an undercover mission. And I was offered that job because my ship was the only one with a cloaking device that was available in the whole sector right now. I don't usually work with the military, no. I'm independent. This is a one-time contract. The cloak, I designed it myself actually, and the rest of the ship as well. Not that many privately owned ships has one, so it kinda pays for itself. I can take on jobs many others can't. Like retrieving you from that hellish moon. You did it again. I asked you a question about yourself and ended up telling you more about myself. How do you always manage to turn that around? I understand that you cannot tell me about your work, but I would like to get to know you a little. Even if we're only going to spend a couple of days together. You're wondering what impression I have of you so far. Well, you just rolled around on my bed and on the floor, so I know you have some sort of sense of humor and a playful side, hopefully. You're also probably quite fit. At least you look it. Do you know how to fight? Only pillow fights, okay. I'll stop prodding you. Tonight is not about work anyway. I'm sure tomorrow will be a busy day for you. Reporting and debriefing and answering everyone's questions. But tonight, we are invisible. You and I. Yes, the cloak will hold until we're through the midnight belt and back in Allied territory. Oh, not too long. 12 hours or so? Maybe a bit more. Yeah, it is kinda like power saving mode. Except we're not actually saving any power. Most of it goes to maintain the cloak. That's why we cannot use much power for other things, or the cloak will fail. As you found out yesterday, when you tried to replicate some snacks after I told you not to. Yeah, well, that was a close call. We were almost discovered. And apparently you really missed ice cream while undercover. So I know that about you. You like ice cream. Yes, you're right. I should have told you why I didn't want you to use the replicator. So the cloak failing was at least partly my fault. I'm so used to working alone, I I don't really know how to. Never mind. My point is, when you sleep over in my cabin, we can reduce the temperature and put life support systems on minimum on the rest of the ship. That way, we can be absolutely sure that the cloak will stay up, strong and stable. Both the cloak and the engines will have enough power. That's also why we had such an early dinner today, while we were still hidden in the shadow of that moon and didn't need a cloak. But I did replicate some snacks for us to eat tonight, so we don't need to fast. There's popcorn and sodas and chocolate and fruit cups if you want something healthy, and ice cream right there in the cooler. I didn't forget. Got some other stuff there too, just pick whatever you like. And we have to play at least one board game tonight. Yes, I have quite a lot of them. Old-fashioned physical board games. Do you like to play games? Or are you too grown up and serious, Mr. Spy? I replicated a new board game a few days ago. I haven't had a chance to play it with anyone yet. It's called Wormlords. Sounds fun, right? Who wouldn't want to be a Wormlord? It's very simple to play. Look, you conquer squares on the board by tying a knot on a colored shoelace and placing it on a square on the board. You start at your home base, here, and work your way outwards until you've conquered at least 3 of the 4 towers. You can only place a worm on a cell adjacent to either your home base or another of your worms. Worms, shoelaces, whatever. You can be red, I'll be blue. Oh, and you can only remove your opponent's worms by untying one of them and throwing it back at your opponent. And when you conquer enough of the towers, you win. You look puzzled. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's not turn-based. It all happens at once, with no breaks while you wait for the other player to make their move. Just, throw your worm out there after you tie the knot. The rulebook says you have to do it nicely, but how nicely can you throw worms at your enemies? I think that this is a game that will be fast and chaotic, and in that sense, very much like real life, that we are here in my room to avoid, which makes no sense at all. That was a very big yawn. I'm sorry. You don't want to play Wormlords, do you? I just wanted to give you a relaxing evening where you could get your mind off of whatever you've been through. But who am I to decide that? Maybe you're just too tired. What do you want to do? You just want to go to bed and drift away slowly. Certainly. We can go to sleep early if that's what you want. As long as you don't mind that I read for a while. I'll just use a small nightlight, so it shouldn't bother you. What do you mean you can't sleep? I can turn off the nightlight too if you want. Oh, it's not the light then. is it that keeps you awake then? You want what? A bedtime story? Are you serious? The big, strong spy, wants a bedtime story. Hey, I made you blush. You blushed a little. Alright. No, I don't mind. As I'm sure you've noticed by now, I can barely shut up anyway. I'm sure I can manage to talk you to sleep. Do you want an actual fairy tale, or maybe I could read a few passages aloud from my novel? Me? You want to know more about me? And here I thought I'd already talked far too much about myself. Are you really interested in me? No, not really. I didn't expect you to be. Because I'm just too introverted and neurotic for most people's taste. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. Look, you can have my bed if you like, and I can sleep on the couch. My mattress is too soft. I suppose you're used to sleeping on the ground. Okay, let's get into our respective beds then. And, I think I know what I want to talk about. If you don't mind me changing your requested topic a little. Okay. I told you I work independently, and the cloak I designed and installed myself allows me to pay for this ship. Oh yes, I have a big mortgage on it, but this ship is also my home, so it's fine. And I usually get plenty of job offers. Exploration mostly, or something scientific. This is the first time I've done a retrieval for the military, although I have done scouting missions before. But usually I help map new solar systems, and when a cloaked ship is requested for that kind of job, it is usually because the system in question contains intelligent life. Yes, I suppose I have been kind of a spy, like you, at least on occasion. I've helped gather information on several newly discovered pre-interstellar civilizations, and I thought I might tell you a few stories of them, of what they believe in, how they see the world around them. So different from us and our petty war. Sorry, but not really. Would you like to hear a bit about them? I don't know more than what has been published. The researchers I accommodate don't share anything with me. I just fly them to where they want to go, and they gather information from aboard my ship using their own equipment. So, I don't know anything that has not been disclosed to the public. Okay, let me think for a moment. The Florey people, their world circled a binary star some 50 light years from here. They have a culture centered around dreaming and the meaning of dreams. They think dreams shape reality, but in ways that are difficult to understand or control. Tales of a sentient star, billions of years old, who began to dream. And the dreams became the planets circling it. And the planets changed with their sun's streams, being shaped and reshaped by them. And the sun itself is believed to be a reincarnation of a mortal soul, older than the universe itself. A soul who had survived the end of the last universe, and who dreamed a new one into being. Can you imagine what such a spiritual system means to a culture? No prayers to some distant deity, but dreams. A universe full of consciousness and eternal creation. I don't know much more about them. They're still being studied. Then there's a people called a Unari Ascendancy. They travel in system, but not interstellar yet. They've developed a lot slower than we have. Their civilization is ancient, truly ancient. They have come to believe in a god engine resting within the event horizon of a black hole. This god engine is said to have created the universe, but by accident. We don't quite know what they mean yet, or if they see it as a sort of threat. Maybe they think that the engine will destroy the universe, its mistake at some point, and try again. They also believe that a giant sleeps coiled up in the rings of the biggest gas giant in their system. And apparently, starships that fly too close are haunted by visions. The insectoid Zerkai are long gone. We didn't know that when we first arrived in the system. Didn't need my cloak, as it turned out. We found the remnants of their civilization about 7 years ago. One of my first missions, in fact. They left behind a lot of artifacts and writings. Large cities and infrastructure too, all over the solar system. As far as I've come to learn, they had a very unique writing system that reveals how they saw the world. I don't know much about them. It's a shame they're not still around. The Thrisol Bloom is all about nature. A people who have developed all their technology in harmony with their ecosystem, rather than against it. Their world is incredible. They call it the breathing universe. Universe is not a precise translation. They don't know much about anything outside their own system, it seems like. They're not big on expansion, and their numbers stay fairly stable. Their spirituality is focused on breath and air and cycles of nature, magic through the respiratory channels, including through chanting and song. They believe that the universe inhales and exhales once every billion years or so, and all the stars and planets are simply little creatures like insects caught in this cosmic breath. When the present universe finally exhales, it dies, and a new one is born. Another cycle starts. The Unari spore kind was discovered just last year. They are a sort of hive mind, we believe, ethereal and interconnected. They live in the outer layers of a small gas giant. Small for a gas giant, at least. Its surface is blue, like an ocean